Hello everyone, we're here again in my backyard and we're going to do another little mini flow. So if you could get all the props that you think you're going to need for your practice today, I am going to use my blocks. I have my bolster here because I'm going to sit at the beginning of my practice, but I invite you to find any comfortable start position that you want to use, whether it be sitting on your prop, sitting on your mat, or if you'd like, you can get straight into Shavasana. It's definitely up to you. We know many of our modifications up to now. We know tools that we can use, but just be reminded that your best tool is your breath. Your breath is going to tell you when you need to take a break. Your breath is going to tell you when you need to push a little bit harder. And if by chance you are outside like me, and today is a little bit on the warm side, keep that in mind that you might need to take a little bit of a break when you don't normally need to take one. I have my water back there ready in case I need it. So get your things ready and we'll meet in your start position. So if you're getting into Shavasana, get yourself down onto your back. If you're getting into your sit position, find whichever leg position is going to suit you best for today. And we'll just take a moment or two to bring ourselves here, to this space, to the mat, to this moment. So I do invite you to close your eyes wherever you have chosen to be. If you're going to be down on the mat, on your back, make sure that you've chosen a comfortable leg position, perhaps something that's a little bit wider. Allow your feet to relax. Allow your legs to relax. See if you can soften up your glute muscles. Basically, relax your bum, relax your hips. Relax your belly enough that you can take just natural breaths in and out. See if you can soften your chest. And see if you can open up the collarbone and soften the shoulders. If you are not completely comfortable with closing the eyes, have a soft gaze. You're trying not to have the distractions around you distract you. You do want to take a moment or two at the beginning of your practice just to check in. See how you're feeling at this particular moment. Notice what your breath is. Each and every time you come to your mat, you will notice that your breath is a little bit different. So this is your opportunity just to see what it is right now. Maybe you've noticed that your breath is as it is every other day, or today might be just a little bit different. So we always want to take those few minutes at the beginning of our practice just to see what kind of a day is it going to be? What kind of a practice is it going to be? And without getting into too much of an expectation, it's more of an inventory. Notice how the breath comes in, and notice how the breath goes out. Notice the expansion with the inhale, and notice how you sink with the exhale. Be mindful of your breath. Be mindful of the speed of your breath. It might be a little faster. It might be a little slower than mine. Please take your breath at its own pace. It doesn't matter if you follow along exactly. The main object is to have a very good practice for yourself. To feel good about your movements, nothing too hard, nothing too harsh. You want to be energized after. So as you're taking your few minutes before our movement, notice how you feel. Notice your breath. And be open to what your practice is going to be like today. We'll take 5 or 6 more breaths here. And don't worry if you happen to be taking more than that or less than that. It's not that strict. One more breath here. If you've started in a sitting position, stay there. And if you've started in Shavasana on your back, take your time and slowly bring yourself up into a sit position. And if you've started in your sit position, just slowly invite some movement. Be gentle. If you've had your eyes closed, you can gently open them up. And we definitely want to take our time. And if you've been on your back and you notice that you're coming up to a sit position and you need an extra breath or two, by all means take an extra breath or two. We are going to make our way into tabletop. So I'm just going to roll over my knees. I'm going to move my prop. And I might need it a little bit later on, so I'll just leave it off to the side. So remember what modifications you need for your tabletop. Bring your hands underneath the shoulders. And bring your knees underneath your hips. And as we move into our cat-cows, start off with that neutral spine, lifting that belly button ever so slightly. Taking that inhale to drop the belly down towards the floor as you lift your tail and slightly lift your gaze forward. And then as you exhale, curve your spine, roll the mid-back up towards the sky, tuck your chin down towards your chest, and keep pushing into those hands. Take that inhale, open up the front side of the body, and as you exhale, close up the front side of the body, but you're opening up the back side of the body. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling to open up front side. Exhale, open up the back side. And notice as you move through your cat-cows, is each one exactly the same as the one before? Or are you increasing the wave of your spine? It's just something to notice. It's not something that should be considered right or wrong. You're just slowly waking up the spine. We'll take 2 more here. Notice your arms. Notice your shoulders. How does your spine feel here? And come back to neutral. Remember that neutral spine. You might need to readjust your hands if they're not quite comfortable. You might need to readjust your knees. And I'm just going to take an extension with the right leg. Inhale it straight back behind you. Have the toes face the floor. And see if you can try to keep your leg about hip height. You can have a little peek underneath your belly. We don't want to have it too high up. Just go to where you can. See if you can still keep that belly engaged. As if you're pushing through your heel back behind you. Continue breathing here, having an engaged leg. Try to keep the weight even in both of your hands and arms. Keep the spine neutral. Keep your neck neutral. Notice how the breath moves throughout your body with that effort of holding up your leg. And with your next exhale, drop the knee back down underneath the hip. You might need to take a little wiggle jiggle. You might even notice that you need to come out of your wrists to give them a break. Sitting on your heels. You might even been choosing to take a breath or 2 in child's pose. And then I'm going to come back into my tabletop. Reset my hands. Take an inhale to take the left leg back. Extend it, point the toes down towards the floor, as if you're pushing through your heel. You can have a little peek. Again, wrap the triceps, keep the neck nice and neutral, and continue breathing here. Don't hold your breath. Notice how much work effort the breath takes here. Is it harder on this side? Is it easier? Do you notice your glute muscles working harder here? Or was the other side harder? You'll start to notice the imbalances from left to right. Don't get frustrated. We all have our imbalances. Hardly anybody is perfect on both sides. That's why we have all of those modifications that we can use. Notice if your shoulders are collapsing towards your ears. Try to keep that nice long neck, long spine. And with your exhale, drop your knee back down. Sink into a quick little child's pose, dropping your bum towards your heels. And notice in your child's pose if your head needs any sort of support. You can have your fist stacked on top of each other as a light support. We're not going to be here for very long. I'm just taking a little breather. And then come back up, lift the torso, come back into tabletop. And we are going to take a very quick transition. Don't worry how pretty this looks. We just want to get into our forward fold. So have your hands on the floor. Tuck your toes under. Lift your knees, lift your bum, and slowly start to walk those feet towards your hands so that you're in your forward fold. Remember your forward fold. It can have a soft knee. Take a breath or two here. Allow your head to drop. Have that neutral neck. See if you can soften the collarbone, soften the shoulders. Finish your breath. With your inhale, come up to your flat back. Use those hands on the shins. Maybe push a little bit more weight into the toes. And as you exhale, forward fold. Once more like that. Inhale, up to the flat back. Exhale, forward fold. And for our first one, coming up to a standing position, just unroll your spine like a rag doll, taking your time. Keeping the knees as soft as they need to be. Curve up your spine. Slowly bring your head up. Maybe move around a little bit. Wiggle, jiggle the shoulders. And find yourself in your mountain pose. Make the adjustments that you need, and we are going to take a few breaths here. Just to get into our space. We've come up to a vertical position. We might need a moment or two to take a breath, to take a drink, to reset before we start again. In our mountain pose, we're trying to get to that neutral spine once again. So notice if you're peacocking your chest forward, if you're allowing your belly to hang forward, see if you can get nice and tall. Open up the collarbones. Roll the shoulders back. That imaginary string is at the top of your head, pulling you upward. And the other imaginary string is pulling you down by your feet. With an inhale, take the arms up overhead. And with an exhale, just release the hands down back by your sides. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, arms go down. One more like that. Inhale, arms go up. Maybe the gaze goes slightly up. And as you exhale this time, dive forward, hinging from your hip into your forward fold. Flat back is your inhale. Exhale, I'm going to take my hands to the floor. And with an inhale, step that left foot back. We're getting into our lunge position. So if you need to drop that back knee down, by all means drop it. I'm going to keep my back knee lifted, but I am going to bring my blocks underneath my hands to give me a little bit more lift in the torso. Take a breath or two here. Noticing the work effort in the legs. One more breath. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, bring the left foot forward, back into your forward fold. Inhale up to the flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale up to a standing position. Try to come up with your flat back. I'm going to take my arms right away with me. Exhale, just the arms back by your side. Reset. Inhale, arms reach up towards the sky. As you exhale, dive forward from your hips, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the floor. I'm going to use my blocks. Inhale, right leg back behind you into your lunge position. Know that that back knee can be down if you need. Again, I'm using my blocks to see if I can lift my torso just a little bit more. I'm still keeping some weight in my hands, into my fingertips here. Again, notice if you're dumping into that thigh, or can you feel just a little bit lighter? As you breathe here on this side, notice the difference. Do the hips feel the same on this side? Do they feel a little different? Are you putting more weight into one of your hands? Take a breath in, and as you exhale, back foot comes forward into your forward fold. Inhale up to the flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a standing position. Arms by your sides with your exhale. A little bit of a reset. Do you need to change anything in your feet? Anything that's going to make you a little bit more comfortable? A little bit more even? Maybe having you feel a little bit more secure. Mountain pose. Inhale, arms go up. As you exhale, dive forward from the hips into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Hands to the floor or anything that you have there. Inhale, left foot back. And this time, let's try to get into that runner's lunge with our inhale. As I lift the chest, can I get a little bit lighter with those fingertips? Do I need maybe one or two fingers still on the floor on the blocks? How's the front knee alignment? Can I remove my hands and maybe reach them back behind me, opening up the collarbone? Seeing how sturdy I feel here. Do I feel wobbly? Do I need to put my finger back down onto the floor? Can I keep that smooth breath going? Feel sturdy in the legs before you lift the arms up off the floor. One more breath here. And as you exhale, take those hands back down to the floor or your blocks and step forward once again into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a standing position. This time we're going right back down into our forward fold with our exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, right leg back into your lunge. Again, get sturdy in the legs. Check your alignment. With your inhale, can you lift that torso just a little bit more? Feel lighter in the torso. Maybe feel lighter in the arms, hands. If you feel secure here, maybe removing your hands from the blocks or floor and seeing if you can reach them back behind you. Notice how much more your legs need to work. Is it too much? How's the breath? That'll tell you. As I reach the hands towards the back of the mat, opening up the collarbone. Still breathing. Focusing on the breath. Can I stay here one more breath? And as you exhale, hands to the floor. Back leg comes forward into your forward fold. And let's just take an extra breath or two here, just to allow that spine, that low back to relax. Maybe take some movement here if it feels good. And then come to stillness. Take that inhale up to the flat back. And as you exhale, fold forward. Let's take an inhale to come up to a standing position. And we'll meet in mountain pose. Just taking a break. Noticing if I need to make any movement changes, any shifts in my position, maybe taking a drink. Taking it nice and easy, nice and slow. And then from mountain pose, once again, inhale the arms up. As you exhale, dive forward. Forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back. Inhale into your runner's lunge. Maybe if you find the hands reaching back behind you is a little bit too easy, maybe you can take the arms out to the side. Notice what it does to your breath. Is it too hard? Too easy? One more breath here. As you exhale, hands to the floor. Step that foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a standing position. And dive right back into your forward fold with your exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the floor. Right foot steps back. Inhale into that runner's lunge. Again, choosing the hand position that suits you best. Noticing what your breath is telling you. Where should your arms be? Maybe they still need to be on the floor. As I recruit more leg muscles, is it taking too much out of the breath? Inhale here, and as you exhale, hands to the floor, step forward into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a standing position. Dive right back down into your forward fold. Exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left leg back, lunge position. Inhale to your runner's lunge. And this time perhaps taking the arms forward. And notice how that feels. Is this the modification that suits you best right now? How are the leg muscles? Take one more breath here. And this time we're going up towards the sky with the fingertips, inhaling up to your crescent lunge. Make the adjustment that you need for your shoulders. Engage the back leg. Keep breathing. 2 breaths here. And as you exhale, dive forward with the hands, touching the floor, stepping forward to your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a standing position. Maybe the arms reach, maybe they don't. Right back down into your forward fold with your exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, right leg back. Inhale to your runner's lunge. Choose the hand position that suits you best. A full cycle of breath here. A full inhale. A full exhale. And with your inhale, crescent lunge, arms reach up. Maybe it's just the top of the head that's coming up and your arms are still at your waist. Engage that back leg. Keep breathing. Soften the shoulders. As you exhale, dive forward. Back leg comes forward into a forward fold. Inhale, flat back. And one more time, forward fold. Inhale to a standing position. Mountain pose. Take a breath or two here. Reset. What do you need? What does your breath tell you that you need right now? Maybe just enjoying a few breaths, standing nice and tall, opening up the collarbone, rolling the shoulders back. Maybe taking a little bit of movement. Maybe you need a child's pose. Two more breaths here, and we're going to go through one more cycle. With your inhale, lift the arms. As you exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, left foot back, lunge position. Inhale, runner's lunge. Finish your exhale. Inhale, crescent lunge. Two more full cycles of breath here. Where can you soften? Shoulders, jaw, one more breath here. Do the best you can. Inhale, get long, and as you exhale, dive forward. Hands touch something, step the back foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a standing position. And exhale, dive right back forward into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands touch something. Inhale, right leg back behind you, lunge position. Inhale, runner's lunge. Finish your exhale here. And then with your inhale, crescent lunge. Keep breathing. Readjust something if you need. 2 full cycles of breath. Where can you soften? And inhale, and as you exhale, dive forward. Step the back foot forward, forward fold. Flat back is your inhale. And as you exhale, hands to the floor, but I'm going to step my foot back to drop my knee. Bring my opposite foot back to meet it. And I'm just going to sit on my heels just for a second or two in my hero's pose, just to catch my breath. going to move my blocks off to the side because I'm not going to need them for my second round of cat-cows. Adjusting your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Maybe change something from our first time. Maybe change the toes. Engage that belly. And as you inhale, lift the gaze slightly forward. Lifting the tail up towards the sky. Dropping the belly down towards the floor. Hold for a full cycle of breath here. Wrap those triceps in towards the waist. And inhale. And as you exhale, curve your spine into your cat pose. And as we hold our cat pose a little bit longer, notice what you notice. Do you need some movement here? How are the hips feeling? And then let's wave 2 more cycles, cat-cow. Inhaling, opening up the front side. Exhaling, opening up the back side of the body. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. One more like that. Inhale. And exhale. Come to neutral. If the toes are tucked under, untuck them so the tops of your feet are towards the mat. I'm going to bring the big toes to touch, but I'm going to walk my knees out a little bit wider so that when I sink back into my child's pose, I have a little space for my belly to drop. I find this one a little bit more comfortable on my hips. And notice how far can you actually fold forward. If you notice that your head is not able to touch something, put some sort of support underneath your head. We are going to be here in this child's pose for a little bit longer, so you don't want your neck to be supported, your head to be levitating in the middle of the air. Your neck kind of wants to have that little bit of a break. So I'm just going to use my block here. And as I take a little bit of a movement side to side in my hip creases, I'm finding that spot that I can find comfort, I can find ease, and then I can find stillness. So finding the soft shoulders. And if you do notice that you come into your child's pose, and it simply is not the comfortable spot for you, you can come to your sit position and find your rest there. We'll take about 5 breaths here. And again, if you need a little bit of movement, a little bit of adjusting so that you can get even more comfortable, take the movement, take the adjustments that you need so that your body can soften and your body can relax. One more cycle of breath here. And then slowly lifting up the torso. If your knees are wide, bring them closer together first, and then decide how you're going to finish your practice. Is it going to be here in your sit position? Are you going to lie down on your mat? Whatever is most comfortable for you, I'm going to come back to my sit position. I'm going to use my bolster this time again. If you're more comfortable coming to your back into your Shavasana, by all means, go there. And as I find my comfortable space so that I can finish my practice in the most comfortable space that I can find. And once again, if you're coming to a sit, you want your legs to be comfortable, you want your shoulders to be comfortable. If you're lying down on your back in your traditional Shavasana, making sure that the legs are relaxed, the feet are relaxed, the hips are relaxed. Softening the shoulders in whatever position you have chosen. And if you're comfortable, if you feel safe enough, closing the eyes. And again, don't worry if you don't feel safe. With the eyes completely closed, you can have your gaze relatively low so that you can still be observant of what's going on around you, but it's not distracting. So when you find your pose to finish your practice in, we have a tendency to let the mind wander. And that's okay, that happens. But I still like to be in the moment. I try to stay in the moment as much as I can so that I can give my body that well-deserved rest. It's an opportunity to thank my body for whatever it gave me in today's practice. Whether it was more than I thought, whether it was less than I thought, that doesn't matter. The point is, I actually made it to my mat again. It's the consistency that's going to make you feel better each time you do the pose, each repetition. It's going to build your confidence. You'll feel stronger. It won't be as hard. But it's those baby steps that we want to take consistently to build ourselves up. So as our body absorbs the movement, allow your mind to absorb the movement as well. Do those body parts that we use today feel better? Did the movement increase the range of motion? Maybe today is not a great day and the movement was a little bit difficult. That's okay. Not every day is perfect. But you did what you could. And that's the good part. We just do what we can at any particular time. So as you allow the breath to flow through your body here, notice that inhale. Notice the exhale. Do you hold tension in the inhale? Can you release in your exhale? Once again, we'll take about 5 full cycles of breath here. And just notice what you notice. without moving just yet. Start to deepen that breath. Become aware of that inhale. Notice how you sip in that little bit more air. And then notice how you release it. One more breath there. And then if you're lying on your back, start to reawaken the body. If you're in a sit position, just remain there for another moment or two. And as your body reawakens with those small movements, notice what you need. Do you need a little bit of a neck movement? Do you need a little bit of a twist, a little sway side to side? What is going to get you up to a sit position? If you're already sitting, maybe slight adjustment will make you more comfortable. And then from your sit position, choose your hand position. If you're comfortable enough, you can take your hands into prayer, where your thumbs press into your heart center. Soften the shoulders as we take one more cleansing breath here. A nice big, deep inhale. And let it go in the exhale. And as we finish our practice here, we honor the divine light within each and every one of us. Namaste. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I hope you enjoyed your practice. I hope you feel better, ready to take on the rest of your day, the rest of your week, with a little bit more ease. And we'll see you soon. Bye for now.